objectives, ano yung mga strategies ng ating Balik Probinsya, Bagong Pag-Asa Program pursuant to the Executive Order 114 issued by the President last May 6 of this year, 2020. So the main objective and the end goal really of the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa is to provide regional balance of development. Meaning to say, since the developments has been so concentrated in Metro Manila, we would like to bring balance to these developments by identifying new urban centers outside Metro Manila. Right now, we see a lot of emerging urban centers all over the country. Cebu, Bacolod, Iloilo, Bataan, Davao, Butuan, Cagayan, in some parts of the province of the islands of Visayas, as well as largely in Luzon. So the end game is regional balance. However, sabi natin that there are strategies by which we have to undertake. We will allow you to see and view what are the three major timelines within which the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa will be rolled out. We have three: the immediate, the mediate, as well as the long term. Ipakita namin sa screen through the sharing of our PowerPoint presentation ano yung immediate, the mediate, as well as the long term. Practically, ang sinasabi natin for the immediate are all those programs for 2020. It means to say, kung sino yung mga miyembro ng BP2 Council natin, from DSWD, TESDA, DOLE, DTI, DAR, DA, NHA, DSUD, and all other participating departments there are, the immediate ones are all interventions that are currently undertaken by the departments. It means to say, today hanggang December of 2020, we will be using our own funding, our own programs, and appropriations approved by Congress to respond to the immediate concerns of our people. Right now, ano yung concern ng mga tao? Gusto nilang uuwi. So they're willing to go back right now. So walang pilitan, wala namang conditions, walang kontrata. Since all of us are victims of the COVID pandemic right now, we would like also to encourage everyone to avail of this opportunity na gusto nang bumalik. However, yung sabi natin gusto nang bumalik has a premise that dapat you are residents of Metro Manila and gusto ka nang bumalik right now to your provinces. That is the immediate ones. The immediate are the new programs na talagang i-introduce pa ng ating mga departments in 2021 hanggang 2022. So these are new programs, new creativity, new innovations, new activities that will be undertaken by all artists for 2021 hanggang 2022. So this will require new funding, new appropriations through GAA and approved by Congress. Now, what is the ways forward, or what are the ways forward? Ito ang long term, because we can never expect miracle for Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa to take place or happen in the immediate time. It means to say, these are all initiatives. These are all initiatives which are long term, and most of them are policy shifts. Ito yung mga policy shifts na sinasabi natin, and most of them, again, are legislations. So let's say, for example, centralization, tawag nating tax incentives, and all other that are for policies as well as legislations in nature. Yung mga sinasabi nila dapat gagawa ng mga economic zones, gagawa ng mga opportunities outside Metro Manila, well, that would be a long-term intervention. Now, ano yung mga required natin for the immediate? Sabi natin, it has to be very informed and voluntary and willing actions of individuals. And what are the key elements of the immediate? So nandun yung response ng employment, housing, livelihood, as well as monitoring by LGUs, plus of course, the COMELEC registration. Kasi we noticed for the fact, in the previous attempt for Balik Probinsya, walang transfer of registration ng kanyang voting rights. So in the elements right now on the new and reinvented Balik Probinsya, Bagong Pag-Asa, we are asking our COMELEC partner to also take the lead in the transfer of the registration. Now, what are the immediate the immediate ones are, again, sinasabi natin dito sa elements natin, medyo nag-expand na siya. Nag-expand na to include, among others, the institutional intervention of education, health, peace and security, as well as the businesses. Bakit? If you notice, most of the enrollees right now in the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa are also sometimes victim of calamities from their own provinces, either man-made or natural calamity. You notice in our dashboard later, I will show you that most of the top 5 provinces are all coming from Visayas. And most of them have lived in Metro Manila for the last 6, 5, or 7 years. It means to say, ito yung panahon when Yolanda hit the Visayas region or the Yolanda corridor. And for the peace and security, ito din yung mga panahon because the second top 5 are all coming from Mindanao. Lanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur, Zamboanga City, Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte. These were also the times or moments by which they were also hit by insurgency problems in the province of Mindanao, in the whole island of Mindanao. So ito yung mga tinitingnan nating elemento pagdating doon sa immediate ones. And finally, itong sa ating long term. Maraming mga academicians, maraming mga associations of urban planners, maraming mga association of all owners that we would like them to engage, even the state universities and colleges. Why? Because the ways forward is the key to Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. What we're doing right now is just to transfer them. It's just to help, to help facilitate the transfer triggered by the COVID pandemic right now in Metro Manila. Ang sinasabi natin, the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa will happen in the next 10 years or even 20 years or even 30 years thereafter. Ang sinasabi ko na model nito, for example, Metro Manila, which is the oldest city. It became Metro Manila right now over the last 100 years. Cebu, which is the second oldest city, became Cebu right now because over the last 100 years. Davao City becomes Davao City right now over the last 80 years. It means to say that yung ways forward natin is one thing that we would like to emphasize to everyone. That sabi nila, inference na kaagad, mali na kaagad yung Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa right now. Actually, we will not debate on that because what we are doing are just strategies. Strategies for the immediate, but the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa gives us the hope when all of these elements are done. Ang sinasabi ko kanina, where we will decentralize government. In fact, yung sinasabi natin that we would decentralize Congress, the Malacanang, the executive branch, as well as the judiciary, will also be an option in the future. So that would mean legislation. Yung tax incentive packages natin will also mean legislation in the future. Creating rural developments, urban developments, township, urban renewal, this will come 2 years, 3 years, or even 5 years down the road. Capacitating our LGUs through health and education will also happen 5 years, 10 years down the road. So these are all the end game. Ito yung gusto nating mangyari. Ang problema natin, most of us right saying na ito na dapat mangyari ngayon. No, it's not that. These are all strategies. We cannot convert and do miracles for Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. In fact, if only this program succeeded in the past, this has been there, I think, since 1990s or even 80s. Kung nagawa lang yun, I think every one of us right now would have enjoyed already the Balik Probinsya and the Bagong Pag-asa. But since there were missing links, there were gaps in the previous attempts, yung mga kakulangan na nagawa noon, then we're trying to fill in all of those gaps. So ito yung framework na ginagalawan ng ating Executive Order 114. Next is we have, gusto ko sanang i-put forward ito for all the media platforms. Medyo may kaguluhan, and we would like to inform everyone that as far as the Interagency Task Force, as far as DOLE, as far as the OTR and the BP2 Council, we are one in the agreement na dapat we have to extend help to everyone. Now, gusto ko sanang i-emphasize ang Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa pursuant to EO 114. Ito yung sinasabi natin that these are residents of Metro Manila. Meaning to say, ito na yung mga kababayan natin na has been here or had been here for the last 7 years. They tried their luck 5 years ago. They tried their hope 10 years ago, but medyo hindi na-achieve yung gusto nilang mangyari sa buhay nila. And therefore, gusto na silang babalik sa probinsya. So residents of Metro Manila going back to the provinces for good. So this can be individuals or families na gusto nang babalik sa probinsya for good. Ayaw na nila sa Metro Manila. Kung si Senator Bongpa, nadala na sila, nadala na or natagam. Now, the BP2 Council is composed of 17 or even expanded already to some 26 departments na talagang the one government, one whole nation approach, talagang tutukan namin lahat-lahat, kanya-kanyang tulong, kanya-kanyang mandato, kanya-kanyang programa, kanya-kanyang appropriations in one objective of ating mga kababayan na gusto nang bumalik sa probinsya. So, if our residents in Manila going back to the provinces for good. Now, ano itong OFW? Ano itong estudyante? Ano itong turista? Technically, these are not balik probinsya. We call them hatid OFW sa probinsya. Si Department of Labor is the one handling the hatid OFW sa probinsya. Si estudyante naman that have been stranded here, hatid estudyante sa probinsya. Nandyan si OPPMS, ang Office of the Special Assistant to the President, then Office of the Department of Transportation. These are all students that came to the Central Office Manila, sa Metro Manila, na nag-aral, then pagkatapos, stranded sila. And the other one is the stranded tourist. So ito yung mga turista na na-stranded sa Metro Manila. All of the government resources are used right now, are maximized right now, para ihatid sila sa probinsya. So this is plain and simple assistance only. After, alam mo, the reason, what's the implication of stranded? Stranded kasi walang mass transportation. So since walang mass transportation, government resources ang ginagamit natin ngayon to bring them back to the provinces. So hatid OFW sa probinsya, hatid estudyante sa probinsya, hatid turista sa probinsya. But when the mass transportation will be open, and that would mean may eroplano na, may barko na, may bus na, I think they are no longer stranded. And therefore, by their own capacities, pwede na silang gagalaw na gagalaw at saka uwi ng uwi at their pace and time. But our project, our program for Balik Probinsya 114, EO 114, will continue to be implemented even though open ang transportation natin. Kasi the Balik Probinsya is a continuing approach to rural development. So even if after the term of Mayor Rudy Duterte, our president, this coming June of 2022, any incoming administration shall continue. If they see that there is relevance to this program, then only when we can see true meaning in our Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. So that is practically the difference between Balik Probinsya compared to hatid OFW sa probinsya, hatid estudyante sa probinsya, hatid turista sa probinsya. And now I'll show you the dashboard para makita nyo ano yung application natin, either online or manual. So there are two ways within which to apply sa ating Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. We have an online application. Imagine itong dashboard na to has been open, our website has been open for the last 11 or 12 days. we registered an application of 59,663. We sorted out with traveling alone 32,670 and traveling with family 27,086. So ito yung population na gusto nating tulungan because these are all the residents of Metro Manila leaving Manila and going back to their provinces for good. So kung makita nyo sa ating dashboard, you will see the chosen technical skills nila. Yung 59,000 na nag-enroll ngayon, gusto nila na pupunta ng agribusiness, construction, manufacturing, shipbuilding, electronics, and even the highest would also be food bar as well as others. Yung others naman is one thing that our DSWD would go for social preparation. Tanungin sila. Now, on the other portion of the dashboard, you will see the top 10 preferred provinces. Of the 59,000 plus, I think the highest number is Leyte. That is something like 8,349. So Leyte, Samar, Negros Occidental, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, Southern Leyte, Camarines Sur, Zamboanga del Norte, Bohol, Pangasinan. So these are all the top 10. Ito yung mga priorities natin because these are the most numbered registrants or enrollees. Plus, of course, tinitingnan natin yung readiness ng isang LGU and the interest ng isang provincial government. So ngayon, si BP2 Council is linking up with our associations of the ULAP, of the LPP, of the LMC, lahat ng mga organizations natin ng League of Municipalities, League of Provincial Government are all on board because we want to have a very good and smooth coordination with our governors and mayors pagdating doon sa ating massive simultaneous rollout next week. We only did a pilot project last May 20, last week Wednesday, for 112 beneficiaries bound for Candahog, Palo, Leyte. Then if you notice, may age groupings tayo na tinitingnan. Kasi yung 18 to 25 years old, 26 to 35 years old are the most numbered age bracket pagdating doon sa ating enrollees. So these are all highly employable. That is why I can very well understand in our statistics and mathematics natin dito sa dashboard that in fact the highest number, ang pinakamalaking number natin sa ating mga enrollees are all college graduate. Notice there are 12,635 college graduates. So ito yung highly employable natin na talagang magandang labor force pagdating doon sa probinsya once we will be able to match them. And finally, ipakita ko sa inyo yung isang information pagdating doon sa isang question na binigay mismo ni Secretary Wendell Abisado of DBM. Sabi niya sa akin, GM, please ask them, what do you want to do to financially support your family? Anong gusto mong gawin pagdating mo sa probinsya? Now, the highest number, of course, is undecided. After the lockdown, after the retrenchment, after nawalang trabaho sa Metro Manila, pagdating na doon is undecided pa sila. And that is where the challenge of the DSWD again, to socially prepare them. Ano bang gusto nyo? Because the DTI, the DSWD, the DOLE, the TESDA will be there to fully support your financial requirements pagdating doon sa probinsya. But next is the buy and sell. So, nandun na kaagad si buy and sell, si catering, construction, employment has also the highest. It's 19.53%. So that would mean DOLE would come for employment facilitation as well as matching of the skills na nandyan sa ating mga enrollees and down the line. So ito yung programa ng Executive Order 114 signed by President Rudy Duterte as well as espoused and promoted by no less than our Senator Bongo. And the whole machinery and the whole departments, member, council, secretaries of BP2 are all more than willing to maximize their own resources para matulungan ang lahat nating mga kababayan na gusto nang bumalik sa probinsya. That would be all for the initial briefing, and we are now open for questions.
Hello po, good morning po, GM. GM, nabanggit niyo po kanina na magkakaroon tayo ng massive simultaneous rollout. Sorry, ibig sabihin po ba next week ay more returning provincial returnees yung in-expect natin, and how many are they po?
Thank you. Right now, we have already started the assessment. Magbaba ako ng 7 listahan. So there will be 5 lists of 100 beneficiaries per list. So I will be taking the cue from the top 10. So nakita natin yung Leyte, Samar, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, Camsur, Pangasinan, and Northern Samar. So yung 600 na yan or 700 na yan will be out this morning at saka ibigay ko kaagad kay DSWD. I'm giving DSWD 7 days within which to do the assessment. After 7 days, I will have 3-day rule na i-inform ang ating DILG counterpart, Secretary Anyo, and the governors and mayors. After the 10th day, then that would mean June 4 or June 5 next week, then we will have a simultaneous rollout of the 700 beneficiaries sa Balik Probinsya. That's correct.
GM, sorry, ano po yung naging batayan po dun sa 700?
Yung 700 na yan are all enrollees. Diba? There are 59,000 enrollees right now. Sinusort natin on the basis of their provinces. Pinamatch natin sa top 10 kasi ito yung pinakamarami. And we also match that sa readiness ng isang LGU. Incidentally, we see a lot of good response coming from governors. So, ng Camsur, ng Leyte, ng Pangasinan, ng Zamboanga del Norte. So, since these are all positive indications that our governors are now willing to accept because ready na rin yung testing nila, ready na rin yung mga other facilities nila sa probinsya, then that is the basic requirement. But napili natin yung 7 batches na yan.
Maraming salamat. Ma'am Clay? Si Ma'am Clay ba to?
Yes po. Hi, sir.
Bago po tayo magbigay ng question kay GM, pwede po paki-indicate muna ng ating mga institution kung saan tayo belong and din yung pangalan po natin. Maraming salamat. Sige po, pagpatuloy natin, Ma'am Clay.
GM, again, it's Clay Pardilla po. GM, sorry po, yung 112 po last time, pareho po ba yung package na makukuha ng 700? And if mayroon pong panibagong package sila na makukuha, what are these po?
Yeah. Thank you, Clay. Walang magbabago sa package or packages natin. It will be the same. The only difference is that we have a separate package, Clay, for individual. So kung ikaw lang yung nagta-travel, ikaw lang yung uuwi, you will have a separate package. But we will have another package for traveling with families. So iba din yung package natin sa pamilya, iba yung sa individual. So kung ano yung natanggap ng individual last May 20 during the rollout will be the same package na tatanggapin ng mga succeeding rollouts natin in the future.
Okay na po, Ma'am Clay.
Sorry, GM, just to reiterate, what are these inclusions po?
Yeah. I have here, ang pinaka-basic talaga, Clay, right now is the intervention coming from DSWD. The employment naman will come later. The assistance for livelihood by DTI will also come later pagdating nila sa probinsya. But upon dispatch here and even right after pagdating nila doon, ito yung sinasabi ng ating programa for individuals. The transportation support will range from 3,000 to 5,000 sa individual. So, meaning may magamit na siya na pamasahe pagdating doon sa probinsya niya. So that would mean between 3,000 to 5,000. The livelihood support for individual employment facilitation is something like 5,000. The capital seed fund for individual is 15,000. So ito yung for individual. For group naman, or yung with family, or family members, mas malaki ang kaniyang matatanggap because the transportation allowance will come in a range of 3,000 to 35,000. Kasi kung dala-dala mo yung pamilya mo, 4, 5, 10. So by bus or by airplane, if it is in Mindanao, so the family is allocated 35,000. The livelihood and employment assistance is also big. Mas malaki din kung pamilya. Aabot siya ng 50,000. Yung transitory family support, basta pamilya, mas malaki din. It's 70,000. Yung shelter assistance, kasi yung individual naman, pagbabalik siya sa probinsya, may bahay siya ng parents niya, kapatid niya, so doon siya maninirahan. Kasi he answered also yes. If the answer is no, kung may bahay ka ba sa probinsya and you are traveling with your families, the whole family from Metro Manila to the province, si DSWD will provide an assistance of rental subsidy from 6 months to 1 year. We have this lead time 6 months to 1 year or even a little longer to give enough time for NHA to build housing for them in the province. So ito yung diferensya if you're traveling alone and traveling with families. Mas malaki yung packages na ibigay natin sa pamilya.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Clay. And then, next po natin na magtatanong si Ma'am Kai. Ma'am Kai, ready na po tayo?
Hi GM, good morning po.
Okay.
Apo. Sir, ano lang, regarding the housing facilities, no, you said na merong mga tao who said na wala silang houses, and then you also mentioned that NHA will be building. So ano ba yung can you give us an idea of ano yung magiging plan or work plan ng NHA for these provinces? Tapos magkano aabutin, and then do we need to do some land banking? Kasi I'm sure hindi naman sa lahat ng provinces you have land, your own land. So basically yon, yung ano lang yung I give us an idea of what you have right now for that. Thank you.
Thank you. As a standard protocol ng NHA naman is that our package, a fully developed house and lot package, is between 450,000 to 530,000. Ang amortization niyan is around 300 to 500,000 depende sa location. So that's very affordable. Gawa mo na yan dito sa Rizal, sa Bataan, sa Panga. So maganda na yung location na ginawa natin dito sa probinsya na to, at saka the ideal floor area is already 28 na square meter floor area, naka-granite tile siya, ganda yung working area niya sa likod, at saka 40 ang lot. So that is practically between 450,000 to 530,000 payable in 30 years by our beneficiary at the rate of 300 to 500 pesos per month. So yun ang gagawin namin. But again, we will not be able to do it right now. That is why in the meantime na naglumipat na si pamilya sa probinsya, DSWD will be able to provide them with rental subsidy, and we will also make sure, kasi alam naman ng NHA, dual talaga personality ko dito. I am the GM of NHA and at the same time the Executive Director of the BP2 Council. Kasi I know for the fact, kasi kami yung nag-i-enroll sa kanila, alam namin kung saan sila pupunta, and the number of beneficiaries or enrollees going to a particular province or to a particular municipality or city. Pag malaki na talaga yung volume ng tao, aabot na ng 100, 200, 300 to the same province, tama ka. We will now go into land banking. Dapat mag-land bank na si NHA, bibili na ng lupa kasi 100, 200, 300 na families. We do a lot of housing right now in Metro Manila. Nga ang number niya is around 300 to 500 in one subdivision, in one site. However, kung patingi-tingi, 5, 10, isa, dalawa, I think our model for an on-site housing is also very practical. Meaning to say, pag may lupa ka sa part of your agricultural, NHA will be constructing a house within your site. Ito yung sinasabi ko na on-site. I tried this in other project sites natin na kung may lupa na si person A, kunin na lang natin, either isabide natin sa pamilya nila na nag-enroll sa Balik Probinsya, or kung siya lang carve out from the inheritance, then we construct housing for 1 or 2 members in one particular municipality or city.
Sir, ano lang, clarification. So magkano yung, if you're going to prepare for that eventuality na you will start building houses, magkano yung initial na kailangan mong hingin on top of the other projects that NHA needs to finance? Kasi hindi naman natitigil sa BP2 yung mga housing needs. Also, open po ba ang NHA to go into joint venture agreements with private companies for land development or building ng mga houses? So, yeah.
Thank you. I think it's a very good question. Unang-una, the funding appropriation, I will be able to infer the data kung makuha ko na yung enrollment natin sa panahon na ngayon, no? That is my projection for 2020 and 2021, I mean 2021 and 2022. So hindi ko pa alam at this point in time, I don't know yet how much would I require. But in the provisions ng EU 114, may sinasabi doon na dapat mag-propose kami ng mga bagong programa, bagong activities to finance our own project. That's one. So pangalawa, tama 'yun. Actually, this is a concerted efforts of all the private housing developers. Kasi ang NHA naman will only be constructing housing for those that are not employed. Meaning to say, hindi ka Pag-ibig, hindi ka SSS, hindi ka GSIS. In short, these are the less fortunate brothers and sisters natin na tinatawag nating informal sector families. Yung employed ka, may contribution ka sa Pag-ibig. That is why this should, together with the key shelter agencies, tama ka. So sa Pag-ibig will be here, involved, socialized housing finance, national home mortgage finance, both of us and all of us, the 4 of us in the production, as well as in the financing of housing, will be greatly involved. So si Pag-ibig Fund, in coordination sa ating mga private developers, kung may membership ka man sa Pag-ibig, may trabaho ka, so si Pag-ibig Fund will be the one to finance the housing project in your own city, in your own locality. Tama yung partnership natin with the private developers.
Sir, last question. Sir, kasi na-mention nyo kanina, yung karamihan ng mga gustong bumalik sa probinsya, either went to Metro Manila because of Yolanda, or another one is the insurgency problem in Mindanao. So chances are ito yung mga wala talagang babalikan na. So kasi before si President made all the housing projects in the Yolanda corridor free for wala nang babayaran. So can this also be used to can these future housing projects be also free for these people na babalik because sila yung mga tinamaan ng Yolanda and the insurgency in these areas? Thanks, sir.
Actually, as a general rule, wala talagang libreng pabahay. Wherever you go, whether it's a first world country, third world country, or developing countries, to include the Philippines, walang libreng pabahay. Incidentally, it is just a matter of the generosity of our president declaring disaster. I mean disaster-stricken cities and municipalities to be full grant. So it means to say, in the case of Sendong ng Cagayan de Oro, Iligan, Pablo in Davao del Norte and Oriental, and Yolanda in the Yolanda Corridor, Samar, Leyte, Southern Leyte, were declared full grant. Yun lang yung declaration ng presidente natin insofar as disaster housing. But the regular housing should be recoverable. Dapat i-recover siya. So I do not see that the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa will be a full grant. It can mean partial grant, but it can mean full recovery actually, but never a full grant na magiging libre siya. Kasi we will not be able to recover and bounce back for future requirements ng housing natin. So yung mga individuals naman who left these municipalities and cities 7 years ago, nandun naman yung mga bahay natin. We are trying our best on the part of NHA to rectify and improve the condition of our housing as a result of the old housing projects of Yolanda na ngayon inaayos natin. So I'm sure may babalikan sila na bahay if they are beneficiary qualified in the Yolanda program housing project.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kai, ordinaryo ng Business Mirror. Ang susunod po nating magtatanong ay si Gerd Cahiles ng CNN Philippines. Sir?
Good morning, GM. George Cahiles po, CNN Philippines, sir.
Hey George, good morning.
Apo. Sir, you mentioned several LGUs already that expressed their preparedness to accept beneficiaries of this program. So, did I get the impression that you will not send people to provinces unless the LGUs express their preparedness for that?
Yes, especially right now. Especially right now that we are on a very critical situation for COVID pandemic. So we will make sure that coordination will be made with our provincial government as well as the government units of cities and municipalities. I have asked Secretary Ed Anyu to help us out in the coordination as well as the protocol of communication down the line sa ating mga provincial governments.
Okay. Sir, in terms of the livelihood and jobs for those who will return back to their respective provinces, how soon will they get that? Because at this point, syempre po, wala sila eh. So, the thing is, how soon will these jobs and livelihood programs will be available for them?
Kahapon, nag-meeting kami. We had a meeting with the BP2 Council and I can very well recall Secretary Mon Lopez of PI, Secretary Dar of PA, Secretary Jan Casison of Dar, Secretary Mole. Ito yung apat na mga major players natin in the immediate phases of our Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. Now the question is, how soon? Sabi nila, it can come sooner in fact, but having to observe the protocol and the quarantine that's required by our LGUs, they can wait. So it's to say that upon landing to let's say for example to Camarines, Pangasinan, to Zamboanga, to Leyte, upon landing, so or upon disembarkation, we will just wait 10, 14 to be exact, 14 days, within which our regional departments will start to communicate with our beneficiaries already. Because lists have been provided by them. Would you know, in the master list, alam na natin, for example, if we have 100, alam natin of the 100, sinong walang bahay. Alam namin of the 100, sino yung walang trabaho. Alam natin of the 100, sino yung walang farming, walang fishing, walang livelihood. So, on a personal basis, on a personal information available, si DTI, DOLE, TESDA, DSWD will contact our own beneficiaries once they arrive after having undertaken or undergone their self-quarantine in the province.
Sir, yung siguro naman po yung usapin regarding the packages po that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned several amounts for individuals and families. So, again, the same question, sir, how soon will they get those? And yun po ba pag alis nila dito automatically? For instance, will they get the 3 to 35,000 for transportation and yung mga ibang tulong kailan po makukuha?
For transportation allowance, upon departure from here, the DSWD will release already 5,000. So, ang sinasabi lang namin is that as much as possible, we will not have a cash disbursement to every package that we will provide. Kasi ayaw namin na maulit yung bakasyon, yung celebration, panggastos ng party, panggastos ng birthday, panggastos ng ganyan, which are all intended for specific purpose. So this will be in a form of non-cash benefits as well as specific monitoring by DSWD. So upon departure here, actually last May 9 during the pilot test, we released 5,000. Enough to use for the traveling expenses from Quezon City all the way to Palo later. Kung family ka, then we will have the actual use or the actual cost, of 35,000 as the budget. At saka we will count how many children or how many bodies are in doon sa pamilya mo. So times the number and the amount fixed by LTFRB. For example, Palo Leyte, from Quezon City to Palo, that's 1,700. So kung apat kayo, that's times 4. Kung tatlo kayo, times 3. So we will not give you the exact amount of 35,000 kasi that is intended for transitional or transportation, So actual cost ang sinasabi natin pagdating sa pamilya.
Opo. So, sir, idagdag ko na rin. Halimbawa po yung rental subsidy na binabanggit nyo kanina. So, who will give it to the families, to the beneficiaries po? And how often do they get that? Or directly ba babayaran ito doon sa mga may-ari ng mga bahay?
My recommendation to DSWD will be on a monthly basis. All the benefits will be released on a monthly basis. Why? Because the monthly basis will also be a requirement for reporting to the council. Kasi ayaw ko naman na when you give out the 70,000 family support, talagang all out yan siya. It can be given in tranches. So all the more the rental subsidy should be given in tranches. Kasi that is one way of me trying to validate whether or not yung ating beneficiaries are still in Leyte. Kasi kung ibigay mo pagka 1 day or 1 week after, bumalik na naman sa province, bumalik na naman sa Metro Manila. So we need to account the warm bodies every month.
Apo. Sir, sorry last na po talagang question ko from my end. Sir, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you will face in rolling out this program, especially that you're dealing with people without jobs, will start anew doon sa kanilang probinsya na babalikan, sir?
Yeah, I think yun ang pinaka-serious na problema. Yun ang pinaka-serious na so far the question that raised before me. Ano yung magiging challenge natin? Well, we have some projections in terms of challenges. There are challenges for the immediate and the immediate, and there are also challenges for long term. Ang pinaka-challenge ng BP2 Council is that when we are not able to achieve the regional balance. Why? Kasi sige ka lang transfer ng tao, so up to immediate responses lang ang nangyayari. So that would mean there is no more sustainability in the program because government resources are also limited. So let's accept the fact. talagang how soon can we really support the family in terms of rentals, in terms of employment, in terms of livelihood, in terms of training. Government resources are finite, meaning mauubos na mauubos siya. But before it gets drained, the long-term plan should also take place already. That's why sabi ko dun sa council kahapon, let's cluster ourselves. We will have the departments na tututok sa short term, and we will have the departments na tututok sa long term. While we are discussing the short term, the long term departments will now proceed with township development, creation of new creation of new infrastructure, creation of jobs, creation of economic zones. Kasi it will not happen in the next 2 years. So dapat umpisahan na siya. And the final arbiter for this would be how the local governments shall be able to sustainably handle the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa. Because at the end of the day, these are all residents and constituents of the province, and the government, the national government, will be here to fully support the program. But I have one recommendation to the council kahapon, which ang council natin approved. Ang sabi ko sa council, I used to be the city planning officer of Davao. I am a member of the RDC, Regional Development Council ng pag-iasa natin ang Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa to a structure that is not permanent, especially my term. For example, the governor. The governor changes every 3 years. And the platform government can also vary according to the political directions of the governor. And there is also political dynamics of the governor and mayors. So therefore, medyo sa paningin ko, if our regional project management will be handled by a political body, mahihirapan tayo mag-implement on a long term. Second, kung ibigay natin sa DSWD, ang focus niya na social services. Walang employment, walang generation of new economic opportunities. And finally, I said to the BT Council, may I recommend for adoption the RDC, the Regional Development Council. Why? Because the Regional Development Council is headed by a governor, but co-chaired by NEDA. So, meaning to say, NEDA's tawag dito, the National Economic Development Authority has the competence, has the professionalism to further deliver the long-term effect of Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. Why? Because RDCs are mandated to infuse programs and projects, both local and regional development. So, ito yung hindi nakita in the previous attempt ng Balik 20 years ago. Walang sumalok sa regional level. Here, we will now commission the regional development councils, the CDC, the City Development Council, the local development councils of the provinces, cities, and municipalities na sila ang sasalo once we fully roll out this program. And to me, having seen the developments of Davao, I can speak of Davao, a very cohesive RDCs of Davao, medyo maganda yung compass, maganda yung transition, at saka maganda yung project implementation of the provinces of Davao. I'm talking about Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao de Oro, Davao Occidental, and Davao Oriental. And of course, Davao City. So we all take a look at the Davao Integrated Development Program. So everyone contributes, everyone shares the development.
Sir, kailangan ng EO niyan from the President para ma-implement?
Ang EO natin 114 is already very specific. And there is Section 3, letter F, J, and H that provide the legal basis for the creation of the subcommittees. And kahapon, inadapt na ng BP2 Council, and there will be a subcommittee in the RDCs na tututok lang sa Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa to make it more sustainable and permanent. And politically neutral.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sir George ng CNN Philippines. Tawagin po natin si Mr. Haji Caaminio ng Radyo Pilipinas. Sir?
Yes, sir. Haji kami niyo po ng Radyo Pilipinas, sir. Good morning po, sir.
Good morning, Haji.
Opo. Sir, ask ko lang, no, yung tungkol po dun sa housing units po natin for those na nag-apply dun sa Balik Probinsya Program, sir. Were we able to identify enough housing units for the dun po sa mga nag-apply, sir? And do you think na magiging sapat po yun para sa lahat, sir, ng mga mag-a-apply?
Right now, in terms of data, meron ako. So sabi ko, kung meron man tayong data or meron man tayong information of the enrollees natin na nangangailangan ng pabahay, the answer is yes. And the second question, sapat ba? I do not know. Kasi I need to get the bottom of the figure and propose to the DBM via the DBM for inclusion sa 2021 natin na pondo to finance the housing requirements. So hindi ko pa, I cannot answer it right now kung magkano talagang kakailangan natin.
Okay, sir. In terms of safety ng mga housing units, sa materials, etc., sa location itself, kumbaga yun po ba ay malapit po sa mga town proper, sa mga kumbaga accessible po siya, sir, dun sa mga sa livelihood, sir, at saka sa trabaho?
Yeah, we will make sure under my administration as GM of NHA. Unang-una, I have already shifted our mission. Ayoko ng quantity, gusto ko ng quality. That is why I said a culture of quality. If you notice, the housing under the Duterte administration, malaki na yung floor area, malaki na yung lot area, at saka maganda na yung mga specs ng ating mga pabahay ngayon. Tiles, ang ating flooring is granite already. I have increased the floor area from 28 to naging 28 na ngayon. At saka with to preserve privacy ng ating mga kababayan. So in terms of quality, I can malapit siya mga kabayanan as well as the facilities that are available within the
Opo, kasi sir, yung mga nagiging issues po kasi regarding sa mga housing units, yung mga substandard materials po in the past, yung mga concerns ng mga nag-uuwi, di kaya yung mga nire-relocate po na mga beneficiaries, sir, ng mga housing projects po natin.
Aji, saan ka malapit ngayon? Yung bahay mo?
Taga QC, sir, sa Bago Bantay.
Okay, so we have new housing units right now in Nae, Cavite and in Masantol. And you can see the sobrang pangganda ng mga formal housing sa mga empleyado ng gobyerno. Ang ganda na rin.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Sir Haji Caaminio. And then, dito pa meron po tayong follow-up question ni Ma'am Clay ng PTV4. Ma'am Clay.
Hi GM, sorry makulit. Pero kagabi po kasi naglabas ng statement or Facebook post po si Sir Richard Gomez at sinasabi niya po na medyo magulo raw po yung Balik Probinsya Program. Minention niya pa po yung NHA at sinasabi niya kasi na parang hindi daw man lang na COVID-19 test and they are protecting their borders. So, eto po bang 700 more returning natives, are we expecting that they will undergo COVID-19 testing or quarantine given that it's already May 26 and we plan to na mapabalik sila by June 10?
Okay. Thank you, Clay. Unang-una, I will not answer that comment of Mayor Gomez kasi it will be Secretary Ed Anyo that will undertake the response along that line. So we leave that to Secretary Anyo to respond to the issue on coordination. Ang sa atin naman, I can commit for BP2. Alam naman natin, sabi ko kanina, there are 4 initiatives. The Balik Probinsya Initiative, who are residents of Metro Manila, the Hatid Estudyante, the Hatid OFW, and the Hatid Turista. So, kanya-kanyang population yan, kanya-kanyang targeted beneficiaries yan siya. Our beneficiaries are the Balik Probinsya, Bagong Pag-Asa beneficiaries. Now, at any rate, I can promise you that kasi yung health protocols naman, I also raised that matter to the BP Council kahapon. Sabi ko, last time, there were only 112. Right now, there are 59,000 enrollees. In the next 6 months, aabot to ng 200,000. If we test them, either using the swabbing and the antibody test, that is 4,000 times 200,000. That is 1,000 times 200,000. Where do DOH get the money? Sabi ng DOH, wala kaming pera. So in short, since hindi naman sila OFW, hindi naman sila stranded, hindi naman sila came from other places, and they had been quarantined for the last ilang taon na, dalawang buwan na sa kanya-kanyang pamamahay. So there was a standard that was adopted kahapon by the council. Tanungin lang, do you have symptoms? Pag the answer wala, then we proceed. Exposed ka ba sa may symptoms? Pag wala, naka-quarantine ka ba sa bahay? Yes. So the medical certification and the certification of quarantine will do in so far as the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa beneficiaries are concerned. But for the OFW, talagang kailangan nila kasi exposed sila sa Spain, exposed sila sa Singapore, exposed sila sa Hong Kong. But for the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa, we have a separate guidelines and protocols. Now, tatanggapin ba ito ng LGU? So that is also another issue between the BP2 Council as well as the LGU. So Secretary Anyo also of the ILG will clarify that matter. Kung anong klaseng test or anong klaseng clearances and certification that are acceptable by the LGUs. Kung anong gagawin nila pagdating doon, that is an LGU protocol. But for the meantime, clearances lang at saka medical certifications would suffice for the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa beneficiaries. Otherwise, if we test everyone na hindi naman talaga positive, hindi naman exposed, nandito lang sa Metro Manila. So that is one thing that we already resolved yesterday.
Sorry sir, para lang po klaro. So meaning to say, ang pinakakailangan lang ng uuwi ay MedCert and medical
Medical clearance and quarantine certificate.
Also, they have to be quarantined for 14 days.
For Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa beneficiaries, I am not talking of OFW, stranded workers, and stranded tourists. For Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-Asa only.
GM, so they have to be quarantined for 14 days?
Yeah, certification lang that they underwent a quarantine in their own barangay. Dito. For example, I live in Quezon City or I live in New Manila. So may certification lang ako dito sa barangay ko. Naka-quarantine ako. At saka medical certification from the local health officer of the municipality or city where I live. Kung saan ako nakatira ngayon.
Sorry, GM, last na lang from my end. Nabanggit din po ba na kung hindi kaya ng PCR test, ay rapid testing na lang? Kasi po, GM, Metro Manila, parang it's considered na if you're there, you're already exposed since we have a lot of positive COVID-19 cases.
I will not comment on
At
it.
least rapid test po.
Hindi ako doktor. So, whether it's reliable or not, but I can bring that discussion with the BP2 Council. What would be the minimum test that will be undertaken? Pero as we speak right now, hindi ko yan na brought up kahapon.
Alright, I'm okay na po,
Okay
GM.
na po. Maraming
Salamat.
salamat, Clay. Ng PTV4. May follow-up din po, GM si Ma'am Kai Ordinario ng Business Mirror.
Hi, sir. Sir, regarding the sir, regarding the size of the housing units, kasi sinabi nyo 28 na yung floor area and then 40 na yung lot area. Do you think that's sufficient for these kinds of families na kakailanganin ng housing, considering na parang yung yung social distancing is going to be the norm in the next 2 to 3 years probably, or until a vaccine is found? Kasi nag-comment po before ang Popcom regarding the density. So, just want to ask about. Thank you.
Actually, yan ang standard ng NHA. The 28 floor area right now under the Duterte administration and the 40 lot area. Now, if the question is, will this accommodate comfortably the family? I think that is something relative, no? Kung comfortably ka ba doon sa 28 na yan, because it can impact to the cost. Kasi the 28 square meter floor area and the 40 is between 440 to 50,000, and that's 500 pesos monthly. Now, kung may trabaho ka sa Pag-ibig Fund, you can get a bigger floor area, and that would also mean impact to the cost. Kasi si Pag-ibig Fund will only finance a private developer, and right now, aabot sila ng 50, 60, or even 80 square meter floor area. But that would be millions. So, it is something relative. The comfort is always versus your capacity to pay and your willingness to pay and your eligibility to loan. So, sa NHA, walang loan eh. Walang loan. Pagbigay namin ng 28 square meter floor area and 40, outright 500 ka agad na babayaran mo monthly. So, walang equity and wala namang siyang other subsidies na gagawin except that na low ang amortization rate niya.
Sir, another last question na from my end. Sir, regarding the financing, so GAA lang po talaga yung gagamitin ng NHA or basically ng government for the Balik Probinsya. It will not secure loans from multilaterals or development partners. Meron bang ganong arrangements? Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you. So as far I can speak for NHA and the executive director of BP2, but I do not know what will be the other responses of other departments within BP2 Council. But as far as housing is concerned, my personal take along that line is talagang i-provide ng general appropriations. Kasi we need basic siya na service, basic siya na facility, government has to provide that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Kai. And Sir, GM, may follow-up din po si George Cahilas ng CNN Philippines. Sir George?
Sir, sorry. Sabi ko kanina last na, pero nabanggit nyo kasi sir yung minimum requirement sa mga applicants, no, para mapaalis sila. Sir, yung medical certificate na binabanggit nyo po kanina, does that mean na isa-certify sila na COVID-free? And paano po gagawin yun kung wala pong testing na gagawin?
I do not know the medical implications for that. I do not know the medical implications for that. Basta ang sinabi lang ng ating council, kasi nandito naman sila, residents of Metro Manila. I think, di ba may mga questions normally? Di ba? Ang unang question yan, do you have symptoms of COVID? May lagnat ka ba? May sipon ka ba? May ubo ka ba? If all the answer is no, then number one question is satisfied already. The second is, may exposure ka ba sa COVID patients? If the answer is no, then wala. And third question is, have you traveled outside the Philippines or Metro Manila or whatever where there are contagion of pandemic? The answer is no. Parang ganun klase. Then pagkatapos, certify siya. If you ask me how accurate that parang I am not in the position to say na maging accurate siya, nga COVID-free siya.
Pero okay lang po sa inyo, sir. Sir, pero okay lang po sa inyo if the local government administers another form of quarantine, for instance. Kung hindi po ako nagkakamali,
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, I'm thinking about that line. If there are people that have the capacity to take the test, mas maganda.
sir, sorry, medyo magulo lang yung audio po nung sagot po ninyo. So can you repeat your answer, sir? I'm sorry.
I like your idea. If there are other LGUs that have the capacity to test naman, and to me, that's a welcome development. Mas maganda nga eh. Kasi mas maganda nga. There is a medical test and at the same time, a medical clearance issued by the local health officer of the municipality or city.
Sir, dun sa initial na 112, ganun po ba yung setup nyo? Yung magkakaroon ng quarantine muna bago ma-integrate sa community?
So far in my discussion with Governor Mick Bitilla and some other, ito sa 112, yung who left last May 20.
Yes, sir.
If that is ang kausap ko, si Governor Bitilla and some other mayors of the province of Leyte. So pagdating ito, there was a testing made by the province. And after they went straight to their own municipalities, then they will undergo the process until the result will come out by the province. Pag sabi ng province ng negative, so alis na sa quarantine, punta siya ng bahay. Pag positive, quarantine siya.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sir George. And may humabol pala, Sir GM. Ito kasi hindi nahirapan kanina pumasok na bago kasi tayo ng pan eh. Ito si Erlo Gabriel Bringas ng Net 25. Sir? Sir? Erlo? So.
Yes, hello po. Sorry po, hindi ko narinig agad. Apo. Sir, may questions lang po ako, sir. Ilan na po ba ang nag-apply ng Balik Probinsya Program for the overall mula nung nag-start yung application?
In my dashboard, I think it's around 59,000 already.
Mm-hmm.
As we speak right now, over the last 10 days.
Opo. Okay, sir, until kailan po itong program na ito magra-run? Until, o kumbaga, hanggat ganito po ang situation, hanggat walang vaccine na nahanap ang government? Until kailan po magra-run yung program or until kailan pwede mag-apply yung mga kababayan natin na gustong bumalik sa probinsya?
The program is open until there is no revocation of the Executive Order 114. So meaning to say this is open until the end of June 30 of 2022 of the Duterte administration. Kasi coterminus man din ako sa kanya as Executive Director. So this will be open. That 59,663 was over the last 10 days. So you can just in parang exponentially, mathematically project the number at the end of the year. Mas malaki.
Opo. Okay. Sir, paano po ba yung ginagawa nating qualifications? Halimbawa, mag-a-apply si ganito.
Umabot na natin 60,000. Wala pang 1 minute.
Opo. Hello po.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Sir, paano yung ginagawa nating qualifications kapag kunwari may mag-a-apply na isang tao? Kasi parang ano din yan, sir, parang kumbaga social amelioration, hindi naman lahat qualify, parang ganun, sir. Sino yung talagang dapat na-qualify na maging beneficiary ng Balik Probinsya Program?
Unang-una, there will be an assessment na i-conduct ni DSWD. Ang sinasabi natin is that sinong interesado na bumalik na sa probinsya. So, there is no criteria, there is no qualification except that we will have prioritization. So, ang sinasabi natin, kung mag-enroll ka, then after assessment, either you will try as traveling alone or traveling with family. Then pagkatapos, we will prioritize. I think the word is prioritization na hindi na qualification.
Apo. Alright sir, yun lang po. Thank you po sa inyo. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Erlo. And then may follow-up, sir. GMC Hachi Kaaminyo ng Radyo Pilipinas. Sir Haji.
Yes, sir. Opo, thank you po. GM, may clarification lang po ako, sir, regarding po dun sa rental subsidy. Will it be a form, will it be in a form of loan po para sa mga beneficiaries po? And payable po siya in how many years? And may interest-free po ba ito, GM?
Actually, Haji, this is a shelter assistance.
Opo.
Assistance to be given to families between 6 months to 1 year. As
Okay.
support dito ng house rental na. So wala itong interest. So dapat within the period of 6 months to 1 year,
Opo.
permanent housing na sila na either from NHA or from Pag-ibig Fund.
Tapos low amortization po ito, tama po ba, GM?
The permanent housing for NHA is very affordable and low amortization. 500 pesos lang ang monthly natin sa NHA.
500 pesos lamang po. Yung binabanggit po ninyo kanina ng non-cash benefits, sir, kasama po ba doon yung sa subsidy na ito, yung sa rental?
Iba din yun.
Iba pa, okay.
The non-cash or food item, the traditional family support amounting to 70,000.
Okay.
Iba yun.
Iba pa po yan, alright.
And basic household such as kitchen utensils, tables, chairs, beddings, school uniforms, supplies for the children while attending.
Opo. Kaya yun yung binabanggit nyo kanina, GM, na parang hindi nyo siya cash na ibibigay para maiwasan nga po yung mga dating
Hindi natin ibibigay.
Oo, tama. Alright, sige. Okay na po ako. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we wrap up, wala naman siguro mga follow-up na, mga ma'am, sir. And then medyo... Okay. So, before we wrap up, final words ni GM, final message.
Salamat lang po sa tanan nga nagsuporta sa Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa. It's really an honor and a privilege kasi only few people will be given the task to really handle this. And I do not take it as a job to me. This is my mission ever since. Lahat naman ng mga special projects ni Presidente, ni Mayor Rudy, I did that in several years already for the last 21 years. I only need the support of our media partners to inform our kababayan with the right information. I think ito yung magandang avenue by which we are exchanging our ideas and insights. At pagkatapos, please help us convince them. Voluntary naman ito. If they're interested, they can log on to our website, balikprobinsya.ph. Ang hangarin lang ng NHA at saka ni Senator Bong, ni Executive Secretary Bingbong, and your President, Mayor Rudy Duterte, is patulungan ng ating mga kababayan na facing right now amidst all of this problem of urban and rural poverty na talagang very real ang problema. So this is an option. This is an option. This is an opportunity awaiting for them na they can make a decision to finally go back to the provinces for good. Yung mga iba na nagsamantala sa aming website, wag na lang, no? Malalaman namin na yung ginagawa nyo are just something that is not really real, and the whole system is also disturbed. So we will not also mind and probably give our time to make the assessment for the seryoso. So sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin sa Metro Manila, the opportunity has come and we will make this as a window of opportunity for you to decide. So long as you are voluntary in nature and you are willing, informed naman kayo, so this can be a very good option that you can take. Your government, your administration, President Rudy Duterte, Senator Bongo, Executive Secretary Medialdia, and myself will be, and the whole BP2 Council, lahat ng suporta from DOTR, libreng pamasahe dyan, DSWD, Secretary Art Atogade, and Secretary Rolly Bautista, and everyone in the BP2 Council, we are here to provide a meaningful support to everyone for a Bagong Pag-Asa. Thank you. Good morning.
Maraming salamat po. Bago tayo magtapos, mga sir, from Erlo Bringas, na 25, kay Ordinario, Business Mirror, Glisel Pardilla, TV4, PDB4, Radyo Pilipinas, Haji Camino, CNN Philippines, George Cahiles, at yung Daily Tribune, PCOO, RTVM. Maraming salamat po. Hanggang sa muling BP2 Press Conference.